hello. Well, some head sketches and other things that slid down under the touch, but I have them. Absolutely. Please feel free to come in, say hi, chat as I do my thing. As I fly solo on this one, uh, new thing that I came up with yesterday. I'll be doing some more of these. Welcome to the premiere episode, by the way. Head sketches that I've done, some of new characters, like this is Aftershock. I created a year ago almost on October 30th, a new character, Aftershock. I need a head sketch of him. I counted, I've been working on the sketch cards. And blank ones that aren't designated for other characters. These are the ones that are designated already for other characters right there. Everybody will get one of these, with artwork, of course, done on them, of one of my characters. Win you back Devil Flyer. I guess I need to drop the campaign link in the chat. It's down below in the description already. But you get one of these, you get free stuff. And starting out with your first premium is going to be, something like this. That's no character, pretty. There's the ghost. Can't wait to do something with him. I'm going to fast track this character and do a story with him. Something. I really like him. Blanks, though. These are the ones I have designated right here already for characters like Sand Devil, which is up on the campaign. And I did find a Sand Devil. Yeah, there he is. Head sketch that I had done. Some lucky backer may get that, maybe not. A lot of these are in black and white. This was in August of 2024. But I've got like a character that I didn't create, but I still remember it. And Dr. Spike, I'm going to do one of him. There's the human grenade. Explodes and reforms himself. He's an older character. Here's another older character created in 2008. So these updated head sketches from old drawings, like I created that character when I created this spider like character, and this was just a copy sheet of that body, of that drawing, and then I would color them different colors. This is a new character I created back in October 14th. So almost a year to the day, almost created this character, head sketch. And then there's the Scorn. This isn't his first drawing, but also in October 17th, the leader of the Scorn. And I have not designated a one for him. So these are going to be helpful to look at. Here's modern day Mummy, or an iteration of him. And I believe I said that this one would go to Carrie. So this one's, already taken. But, yeah, I've got new characters like Aftershock to do on these blanks. Sand Devil's on my top list to do. Let's see, blanks. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 blank ones. I did put my order in just a moment ago for another 100. I emailed them at the printing place to print me up another 100 sketch cards. Might need them. I definitely can use them and draw on them for a while. May give out some to some other artists that might want to contribute. some artwork to the campaign, or something, maybe the next campaign, something like that. So just trying to, this is going to help immensely, at least give me along with stuff that I've already done with the larger head sketches. And I still have other characters. I try and pick the most viable characters to develop first, of course, or the ones that I kind of prefer. But now there's new ones too, like Throwback. We'll talk about him in a minute. Smolder. Here's some other. Uh, here's some other head sketches that were down there. I'm not going to show all of them, but some geos were down there. Did this one back in August 2024. They're holding his hammer. But I haven't seen these in a while. And I was trying to develop a new design for Smolder. And so these are Smolder designs. And hopefully that'll focus enough for you to see it. Here's a Smolder design. Pretty neat, like that. And of course, these could be other denizens, other, may turn out to be something, but the idea was to do a Smolder design. Smolder is going to battle sort of a giant, hellish denizen of the deep, if you will, not of the deep, because that sounds like he's underwater, but of a hellish rim. Here's another Smolder, and this was done in October of last year, so almost a year old on this one. Was looking at redesigning Smolder, and still haven't settled on a final design for Smolder. I better get with it because this Devil Flyer needs someone to fight. Finally did one that I was kind of happy with the silver boa. There he is. Not too bad on silver boas. Modern day silver boa I've already done. I haven't done the golden age silver boa yet. I actually used gel pens on the silver gel pens on the modern day silver boa. This is Dead Ninja. He turned out pretty good. Hopper. There's Hopper. I haven't done him yet, but he's on the list to do. I think I always called him Flex, but I think I'm gonna or not Flex. I want to call him Flex. I think I'm gonna call him Flex. I was calling him Stretch, which was kind of like a nickname for Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four. Stretch. I thought, okay, lack of a better name, kind of like Plastic Man, Elongated Man. Plastic Man being one of the original stretchable characters. Here is Stretch, formerly Stretch, now Flex. I think I'm going to call him Flex. Don't mess with the Flex. Here's a couple of Storm Riders that I did, like November of last year. And he's on my short list to do. He's got a card designated to do. Here's another Storm Rider that I did back in December of last year. And he will be making his first appearance as an old man, in Momentum Unlimited Future Visions. He will be an old man, and you will first see Storm Rider as an old man. That's how I introduced the character. Here's TM, which is kind of placeholder, Total Mystery. And he's got a card down here that I've yet to do. The director, he's up on the campaign. The director, shadowy figure. Uh, Another director there, smoking a cigarette. These were done like October last year, the 14th of October. Let's see when this one was done. The 12th of October. So we're coming up on, these are almost a year old. It's amazing how time just flies by. Here's The Seeker. I believe that Janet from Another Planet, when I have another launch and have her, she's going to cosplay The Seeker. I think this is Shadow's Kiss. I've got a card designated for her, as well as Harbinger here. So lots to do, big pile here, but only 8 blank cards to go. So I'm just going to do my thing. Omer Glitch in the house. Hey, Omer. Going to fly solo and do my thing. And, address people as they come in. Right now, I'm going to take some of these, the short list of sketch cards like Dr. Spike. And this is Dr. Spike here. I did not design this character. There was Skyhawk, I think. The guy doesn't even draw anymore. I met him about 5 years after we graduated high school. And he was a talent at a very young age. And yet he never did anything with it. And he said, I haven't drawn in so many years, I can't even draw anymore. That's pretty sad. I said, well, that's not going to happen to me. And I wasn't near the talent he was at that young age. But I remember Dr. Spike. And I think the other character was called Skyhawk. He was more generic, had like an eagle or something up here and a sort of face mask, blue costume. I don't know why I think of him as blue. Maybe because I think he was more gestorial and loose and stuff. I was more like, and I'm still that way. But Dr. Spike, did him from memory. Might deviate from his, but who knows? I mean, all that stuff's been destroyed, I'm sure. If I think I asked him about it, I think I asked him about using the characters, if I, maybe. Aftershock's a new one. So, have to do him. New one. Let's see. October 30th, right before Halloween last year. Already a year old. You create these characters. Scorn did more than one Scorn, but this one was done on October 17th, 2024. He's cool. And this guy, I don't have a name for, but he's a cool design. Very simple. Almost like a Steve Ditko type character. Might have been channeling, also done in October last year. And this guy, he goes all the way back to 2008. So definitely got to get him in. Don't know his powers and stuff. Very bug-like. Another kind of Steve Ditko-like character. And then, of course, there's the Human Grenade that he looks a little fat there because he's expanding. He's a World War II character. Still working on Smolder designs. Like I said, there's several Smolder designs. I did about a half dozen of them last year. And Homer says he just wants to show off all night long. Apex Comics in the house. How are you? Yeah, maybe. I mean, I definitely probably should rest a little, but here we are. I was wanting to do some, start this sometime, and there's no time like the present. A new show that I'll be doing just by myself, just coming in and chilling and chatting and hanging out with the chat and just doing my thing, whether it be drawing, cleaning, whatever needs to be done. Going to get coffee, coming back, just chilling just doing my thing. You get an insight into my world, and probably be late night. Omer, we do need to meet tomorrow. I already sent you a thing on that. Sometime tomorrow. I have tomorrow night off as well. So if it's later, it has to do with recording, uh, making a recording for Fanta. I definitely want to get that in. Uh, and just want to consult you on the best way to do that, so that we can wish her a happy birthday and well wishes and everything. And then I will, here in a couple of weeks, I'll mail off some stuff that I owe her and some stuff that I bought for her that I was going to give her. And so it'll be a late birthday present, but she'll get it uh, before I'm totally destitute and lack of funds. But hopefully that won't be for much longer. So 8 of them. Don't know this guy's name, but definitely want to give him a card. So there's one set aside. Here's the most recent. I did these over on Omer's new show, and hung for, I don't even know how long I hung over there, but a while, enough to do Smolder here, finish him up. I kind of went in with some pencils, some partially done. I think he turned out pretty well. Might make some changes and whatnot, but pretty neat. I mean, I had his eyes further up on, and just the line that I did there, that for like glasses there, pretty cool. If it doesn't come through all the way, I'm sorry. But hopefully, and Throwback, really like Throwback. He's he was the character I was looking for to create uh, for the Midnight Story. I was like, what? Which one? And he is one of the 43. Uh, that was a prerequisite. But Throwback, it makes sense. He's thrown back to the past. He's 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 very hard to kill, because he appears in the upper atmosphere, plummets to the ground, and destroys a whole mesa, you know, and later meets Midnight. And how does Midnight handle a superpowered being? You know, I don't know. I hadn't written it yet, but I've got some ideas. I'm going to start a whole new show too, random light stream against Rex. Give me a minute, I'll be on. I'll EFAP Rex while I do my show. I'm tired, not going. I'm tired, not going to happen. Yeah, 4 more hours. Um, well, I don't have to be anywhere tomorrow, but yeah, I hope we have a meeting sometime tomorrow so that we can maybe figure that out. Uh, for Fanta's sake, not for me. And then Crocbog, finished Crocbog. Pretty much happy with the way this came out. It looks like he's saying it's party time. Some lucky backer will get one of these. And I think that was it because I already had Polecat done. Polecat may wind up in the original West. This may not be a final thing. This is the first time, really a first design for him. Well, I actually had a head sketch, and I didn't have him named. That I kind of went by. Uh, so that's not exactly true. And there's this spider guy. I don't know. He's an older character from 2008. I took about 3 months and did nothing but work on creating new characters and designing and whatnot. Took 3 months out of 2008 while I wasn't working, and just said, I'm going to go professional and do this for a while and create some viable characters, and, was creating about 3 or 4 a day. That was actually pretty good, pretty nice characters. Uh, and a lot of those were in color, you know. So I was taking the extra step to color them. So here's 1, here's 2. If I do the Scorn, that's 3. I knew I needed to do him. Aftershock, that's 4. Dr. Spike, 5. Human Grenade, 6. So that'll be all of these except two. That'll work out good. And I've got two more that I need to do. The ones that are on the slate to do are that I have cards designated for are this or this. Hey, Ethereal Dragon. And you know, a lot of times these characters like Blood Sword or no Collider just started out as a sketch card character. Uh, the only time I've drawn him except for recently for one of the sketch cards. But I did put it in an order for another 100, and so those should be printed up sometime this week. Is the meet for 2 p.m. check in, Rex? I'll check the message in a bit. Yeah, I just said we need to meet. I don't care. We can do it anytime. That's convenient for you. I've got the night time off as well, I believe. So we've got Sand Devil to do. We've got Total Mystery to do. We've got Fanta's Dark Angel character to do, and I have kind of got a concept for that character. I know other people have sort of went with a certain design. That's not what I kind of had in mind for my Dark Angel, and she didn't care. So, um, uh, I'll do a Dark Angel card, and she can have a Dark Angel card. Two ton Silver Boa, the original Golden Age, Storm Rider, as we were talking about. Need to put him on the short list. That's why he's kind of at the top. Lady Bog, Joey Marco, deceased. Whoops. Spoilers. Cy Marco, his father, and there's Sid Marco somewhere. The director. There's Sid Marco right there. Okay. I was going to do Sid last month and didn't do him. I actually dated it. Whoops. Hopper, the Seer, which I think Janet from Another Planet is going to cosplay. I have my Monday show at 6. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I get it. How did your show do on the numbers, Homer, by the way? Cortex is one. I know Homer Glitch is going to receive the this Cortex here as his head sketch. As an extra bonus head sketch for helping me, by the way. And there's also this guy, and he's part of the 43. So I need to put him in the short stack. So one blank, one left to do to find out. I really like Impact though. Impact's a good new character. He's going to be pretty cool. Do that. Fire Ant. If you want to know what Fire Ant looks like, I've got a depiction of him here. There we go. Did this back in November of last year, November 29th. Metro, he was originally called Metro Man, the leader of the Wonder Men. There was Magnet Man, X-Ray Man, which was my name, just kind of, XRE instead of Rex, which is a crazy name. But Blizzard was one of them. Forget, but they were called the Wonder Men. Not very original, but I did like 10 issues, and I was working on the 11th issue, and they were thick. They were like 50 something, 40 something pages. They were thick. Modern Day Mummy, the albino, he's a villain. Shadow Wing, that's the character I was calling Quill, but I looked at original, first time artwork or whatever, and I had a name for him, Shadow Wing. Demon Flyers, which is, actually a name that was leader of the Wonder Men. Yeah, Metro Man. But I know Metro Man was used in a cartoon, so I'm like, yeah, I'll just call him Metro. Um, February 13th. When is your birthday? Yeah. Midnight. Demon Flyers, though. Demon Flyers are part of that was actually, should I call him Devil Flyer or Demon Flyer? That was actually an option when I first created him. I was like, yeah, go with the devil instead of demon. But demon flyers are on the campaign. They're in the background on John Philande's cover. Old Lady Midnight. I know it's the same character, but it'll be interesting to depict Old Lady Midnight, older. The Bystander, of course, you got to have the Bystander. That's the story that I'm working on to complete Devil Flyer, among others. Things that need to be done. The Armored Flyer, Lady of the Night, Devil Flyer, Apex, Sweet Baby, and Blitzkrieg. Just finished a trading card with her a week or so ago. Grimstalker, and I may do a redesign on him. Mr. Happy. I have the name. I know what he does. He's a drug pusher. But I need to design him. Jen, which I've drawn, and John Dillard has drawn once. Slaver. I have not done Slaver yet. Necrosis. He's one of the 43. He's a cool one. A little bit more involved. Take a little time. Shadow's Kiss. Of course, I showed you a thing of Shadow's Kiss. Old Man Bog. So there's so this needs to be one of the 10 bog ones. Now I got to think, what am I going to have? Well, I'm going to have some more printed up, so that won't be a problem. But yeah, I need to put this on this Old Man Bog on the put that over here so that I remember, and maybe I'll get that in the numbering. Harbinger, Sea Demon, got to do Sea Demon, Clown Killer. And if you want to know what clown, here's another director piece. I need to actually put some highlights on that and finish that. That was a suggestion by Tank Fair. Here was one of the Wonder Men, Magnet Man. Very simple design. Magnet Man. He can controlled magnetism, as the name implies. Here you go. Here's don't know if this is the blue nose, blue hair, yeah, blue eyebrows, red lips. I think this is the kind of settled upon costume colors. I don't know. It might have been different from the original, but these head sketches, some people will get them, and I'll pick from the best and leave the rest. I've got some other characters here that like here's a lizard guy that kind of reminds me of Annihilus and Mr. Freeze with that helmet. Mike Walters in the house. Killer, is that your take on Pennywise? Didn't draw this one in black, drew this in blue. Some of those freaky colors. You might as well have Bog Jr. thrown in there. Well, I mean, maybe. Old Lady Midnight, just a suggestion. How about Miss Midnight? I like Old Lady Midnight, kind of like Old Man Logan. I've got Old Man Bog and I've got Old Lady Midnight. And their Inner Man is one that I have to do. Dead Ninja, got to do that one. Blood Dragon and Kill Dragon, got to do them. Those would be fun. Let me put that on the short list. Those would be real fun. Zigzag, which is, haven't done the mascot yet, and Nora Gray, which is sort of my British detective character. I couldn't remember her name, and then I found some artwork with her name on it. Nora Gray. She's related to the best friend to Devil Flyer, which you will find out in the next issue, Devil Flyer Zero. Had to start developing those characters, those Perry Whites and those Lois Lanes, and things like that. Some of these I have in files. Still like one, and that may have to be another. That may have to be another bog. Let me see where I'm on the numbering of bogs, because I did the Funko bog, and that's number 4. Funko bog. I'm going to do 10 bogs, different style bogs, for his 10th anniversary of drawing him. And Croc Bog was the last one. I did a second Croc Bog for the series. There's 2 Croc Bogs, so you got 2 chances to get Croc Bog, And this is only the second time I've drawn him. The other one was on another sketch card. So you might get the first Croc Bog and you might not. You know, Throwback, though, is Throwback doesn't look like much here, but he's going to be a cool character. He's going to go up against Midnight. He's the perfect, and it works out. It just works out good. I was like, I was thinking Cinder might be the one that comes crashing to Earth. The Encyclopedia of Bog. Yeah, you keep pushing for that, brother. But all these characters like this, there's the other Croc Bog, are, going to, be photo reference and be like a placeholder, if nothing else. You know, some of these, these are, if we can size them right, could become stamps in the stamp book. You know, I've definitely expanded upon some of the, how cool is that? Develop your card and then make a stamp out of it that looks like the card. Nobody else is doing this. I am. So, yeah, I need one more character, and I'm sure I've got, Alien Bog. Yeah. Alien Bog. What I was saying, I didn't complete this painting, but, what would he look like on another planet? So, and I thought, well, maybe orange, instead of green, with, like his little grassy, he's got grassy places, epaulets, if you will, on his shoulders. Those could be, different variety of colors, because plant vegetation, if it exists on another planet, and most people think it does, will, and the thing about it is, I've shaken my universe up, and it's like a snow globe. All the different things are floating out there, because the snow globe has been shaken up. Morning to you, Omen. It's good to see you. Uh, yeah, Alien Bog. So let me designate some of these, and then we'll get started on some. I do use a specific. Been using the same thing on all of them. 1.0. That's big enough. So uh, I think that's got my 8 blank cards. They're gonna all have designations, and I'll be locked in. I won't be able to create new characters. Well, I can always go with something else, just not on the sketch cards till I get the next 100 in. Alien Bog. Yes. Is that what we're gonna call him? I guess so. Alien Bog. I'll just put Bog, but I'll put Alien in parentheses. Bog on another planet. So there's Alien Bog there. And I put him on the short list too. There's Dr. Spike that I need to do. Always like Dr. Spike. DR is how I spell that. He's cool. Salem 7. Salem 7 character from the Fantastic Four. They have a spiky character that's similar to Dr. Spike. And he was, it's interesting. Great minds think alike. My friend Mike thought him up and probably never really read comics, certainly didn't know about that character in Salem 7, but he would fire explosive spikes. That's basically what Dr. Spike does too. It's got a costume with spikes. And then I don't know this guy, but he's one of the 43. I haven't. How about Viro? Because he's kind of like contagious, don't know how I'd spell that. Viro. VIR, like virus. Anybody know how to spell Viro? It's a made up name. But that would be this guy here, which, I did this in the funky colors for Blacklight, experimenting with that. I really didn't like how he turned out, so I'll probably look at another reference besides this, but I'm glad I had this. 43, yeah. Anybody know how to spell Viro? How that would be spelled? Nobody's going to help me. Okay. We'll just forget that one, throw it around. Yeah. Oh, is it Viro? Okay. Very short name. That's cool. There we go. Viro. And I'll look at this and go, Viro, who's that? Now I'm going to put it with the picture. Who else? Who else we got? We got Aftershock. We got the Human Grenade. Dr. Spike. He's pretty cool. Pretty cool looking character, actually. Aftershock's one word, isn't it? These are the things that I kind of normally look up, and confirm. The Scorn, and I don't know who this guy is. That's or this one, but this one's definitely one of the. I decided to retro make him one of the 43. I'll look at the other members. He may control insect life. Could call him Swarm, but Marvel has a Swarm character. Aftershock, Human Grenade. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I thought that was one word, but I use all caps. I'm not on these, but it looks like one word. A freaking mosquito or what? That's a big thing flying around here, going after my nards. Something. Whoa, that's a moth. Okay, so moth on the monitor had me worried there. Now there's Aftershock right there. Kind of looks like the eel, actually. Remember the eel? And the Human Grenade. Scorn, yeah. That's kind of the collective name, for these, characters. He's definitely got, a thing that's inspired by Black Bolt, the little U thing. He's a fun one. Don't know him. So we got, I did Aftershock. Don't think I've done one designated for the human grenade yet. He's an older character. I created him back in the around 1999 or 2000. I was working somewhere around that, the early 2000s. There's also another character called Human that I have, the Human Weapon. Swarm created by John Byrne. Yeah, he first made his first appearance in the Champions, didn't he? Good night, later, Nards. Off to watch Gunsmoke. There you go. And I did watch a little bit of the Expanse, and that's heating up and getting better. I'm at the point where the female Marine is there and she's damaged, and the aliens looking over her. There was an animated character that's kind of like the Human Grenade's powers. And I forget what he was called, but he would explode and then reassemble. And that's basically what the Human Grenade does, is explode and reassemble. So I've had him for about 25 years now as a character. Okay, so I've got these two. He's definitely going to be one of the 43. I don't think this guy is, although he's pretty cool. I'll just put 43 here. He's kind of athletic, but neat design. Like I say, I do the heads, and then if I do the heads, then I can extrapolate the work, the other. So one blank card left, and it's going to go to this one guy, to this character here. Pretty simple design, very Steve Ditko-y. So I've actually got like Tweeka, I did not design. Dr. Spike, I didn't design. So there are some characters that I picked up through the years, just knowing people that they've, and if my friend is not going to use Dr. Spike, he doesn't draw anymore. I know. I'm glad I met him like 5 years after we graduated, and he told me I don't draw anymore. Probably ask him at that point, can I use your characters? If I can remember them. I don't know if I asked him that or not, but he's not going to use them. So I'm going to, Dr. Spike's such a distinctive looking character. And in his mind, he might have even been a good guy. I can't remember if he was the bad guy going up against Skyhawk. Might have to do with Skyhawk. I don't know. But Alien Bog. Let's do Alien Bog, because that way I can put the Bog as an alien. I can put this canvas up, and I'll kind of go by this design. Doesn't really deviate a lot, only in color. What would Bog look like from another planet? And that's from Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing, McGinnis, I think, was the artist at that time. He did a lot of Omega Men as well, but he was doing Swamp Thing at the time, and he was left somehow on an alien planet, and he was looked like cacti at one point, cactus, prickly, and just alien, more alien in appearance than he had been depicted before. All right, so let me get a little backing board here to draw on. These are just the cardboard backs of the pads. Poor Abby. She's had her medicine, but she's going to do that. She's going to hack. And to expedite things, I may just do pencils, and of like these, and that's kind of how I did Throwback and Smolder and Croc Bog. I worked on all three of those kind of together. Throwback, I actually finished first. PoCap, I woke up yesterday and started. I had already penciled it in after our draw stream, and so I got up and I just inked him and then colored him, and voila. So I've been creating pretty much all day long, off and on. So Alien Bog, okay, very kind of distinctive unibrow on him. It was like a couple of years. In fact, the bog that is in the ash can, the Devil Flyer ash can in the pinup section that I did, is the first time that I actually separated the brow. Because I've always had the concept of like the Ben Grimm's The Thing's brow, just being one brow go across, and you know it was a couple of years, I think 2017 when I did that piece, and I separated him. I gave him more human eyes, maybe the first time when I gave him more human eyes. As time has went by, I've deviated further and further away from the original design. Um, Although he's distinctively bog, probably the greatest departure is Croc Bog. Is that really bog? Is that a clone? Is that mixed with Croc DNA? We'll have to find out. And he won't be the only one turned into a lizard. We are out to make Lorenzo very happy. And how did I get that idea? From Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man, where the cover where he's being turned into a lizard. That's cool. So Alien Bog. Right. Make sure I get his unibrow down correct. It's like an M, really, the letter M. Bog's eyes are one thing that's been contentious the whole time. Do I totally black them out? If I make them red, they look like so you are putting in a dragon? Um you mean in the book? Well, I mean, I wouldn't say a dragon. But I did do a one recently, ethereal, swamp dragon. I had done a hand, like a web hand on a rock. Very nice piece, by the way. Can't remember when. It's been a few years ago, but it's been since I've been broadcasting and working on this stuff. Because I showed it on the show when I had gotten it done. Let's see, where is Swamp Dragon? And I may redesign him. We'll see. May tweak him. I think I was supposed to put some highlights on him. I reserve the rights to come back, and here he is. To tweak it and make it better if it, but I try and get it all done and move on. So there's Swamp Dragon. Hopefully you can see that. His mouth needs to stand out more, and his beard, whatever. So yeah, that's closest to a dragon I have right now for a character. And that, like I say, that was just a hand. Make sure I get these in order. Yeah. 10, uh, I hate swamps and other wetlands. Rampages in Germany. What's rampages? Rampages in Germany. Yeah. Is that like, yeah, I think swamp, it was just extrapolated from like his web clawed hand. So I thought I'd give him a try. That's kind of when I was starting to do some original characters, on the cards, and creating new characters. I pretty much, been doing like Dirty Joe and others that have been established. And Dirty Joe is Hockey did a character. Some of these characters I haven't drawn that many times. Uh, Very pleased with how Twisted Man came out. Just looking through these. Yeah, oh, the first original character that I came up with was this guy, and I still need to name him. Uh, but he should look pretty good when I get them done all together. It'll be like a little mini universe. It'll be a whole trading card set right there, and beyond. A big trading card set. Just because mass destruction, like Godzilla, causes. Yeah. Oh, rampages in Germany. Yeah. Yeah. They always said it in Tokyo. What the hell? Or America, like New York, as if that was the only locales. So yeah, a swamp dragon may be in there. Now, blood dragon, and kill dragon are got dragon in the name, and they're uh, definitely drag. I wouldn't call them dragon, but they're like dragon men. They're like, you know, they're they're like lizard, whatever. Got a tail, claws. One's actually derived from the other. He gets part of its tail blown off. It sinks to the bottom of the ocean, and it morphs into a slightly smaller version. And instead of being red from Blood Dragon, it becomes green because of the mixture of different elements of Earth. And he's Kill Dragon. So I could really go strange, tentacly, with the alien bog. I could actually go pretty wild with that. I'm not going to give him as big a head up here past the brow either, because it looks like I kind of stunted it here. Diamond shaped eyes. Usually, like just would just drop down lines, uh, and I still like that. That was in the original design for Bog. Uh, some of these I've actually just went and drawn with pen. I don't have to pencil, but I've been if I use pencil, it's generally a mechanical pencil. Uh, that's just what I prefer. About getting his if I do some foreshortening, I guess I can get the alien type stuff in on one shoulder here to show. Everybody should be demanding a broadcast from Omer Glitch. I thought he was going to EFAP this, do at least he said in the chat he was. So he bogs out and goes to bed. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Hell. Hanging with my homies. Always like to give him some worry lines up here. All right, so got a good start on him. Mode. A lot of these unfortunately turn into headshots. I mean, a lot of it's, I've tried to do some different things with them. I have a name for him now, Viro. So I guess I'll write that on the back. I just put like the 43. For some reason, I had some kind of numbering going on. He's number 7. Maybe I was numbering these till I got up to 43. That's probably what it was. I'll have to check my other head sketches. The 43 characters. Thank you, Apex, for that spelling, by the way. I like that. Short and sweet name. Viro. Short for virus. Yeah. Did this one back in February, so I was doing some funky things with the different colors. My favorite eraser here, the blue. The blue is actually better than the orange, and don't ask me why. Maybe it's all in my mind, but the blue's the best. The pink pearl erasers, they're not as good as they're not as porous. I don't think. I do have these here as well. These are Magic Rub Prismacolor, and this thing. But as you can say, they're pretty complete. No telling how this Magic Rub Prismacolor one is. Might even be from one of my art boxes from back in college days. 40 something years ago, or near 40 years, depending on when I got it. Ethereal, good night. Good night to you, sir. So just doing my thing, my Memphis thing. Creating my universe of characters. Getting some visual representation all in one place. So Viro, and then there's this athletic guy. He's different. And then this plant guy, he's pretty interesting. That one's going to go with that one. Just put him with them. Scorn. Scorn's pretty cool. I might do him next. Fortunately, I don't have his whole I don't have the body shot because I actually put him on top of a building, on the edge of a building. Aftershock, very, very simple. He's very cool. So did that about a year ago, but there's no color. So how do you color Aftershock? If you put him as yellow, he looks too much like the Shocker, you know. You do him in purple, he looks too much like the Eel, you know. And I need to work in. Okay, so alien. All right, so I've got Old Man Bog designated here, and I have Alien Bog. So I need to number Alien Bog while I'm thinking of it, and then that way it'll be numbered. The last one was Croc Bog. That was 5. So Alien Bog will be 6. Number 6 out of 10. And Old Man Bog, which I kind of tried to do a sad old man, but now I've actually got an old man look for him, head sketch that I did. And that's when I came up with the concept of Old Man Bog. Because I was trying to depict what would Bog look like 250 years in the future. Would he look the same? I want to look at him as I've been around for a very long time. I'm old and I'm tired. Same thing with Pal Storm. What is it? Storm Rider. Old Man Bog. Okay, so this will be number 7 out of 10. And I guess the other bogs will have to be will have to come out of the second batch of cards, which I put in an order for. I'll get another 100 printed up. That should be plenty. And that way I can not only work on possibles for this campaign, but I can start working on the next campaign. Because definitely I'll put up some official momentum sketch cards on the next campaign for sale. Aftershock. Good name. I mean, he's a cool one. Just get putting things all back in order and then creating my short list here on top. Some of these I have to look straight in the monitor, like the files. That's where I have the scans instead of having like the originals here for me just to kind of reference, Interesting characters though coming your way. I mean, there's Storm Rider, there's TM. He's going to be awesome character. The director, the seer, bystander, Shadow's Kiss, Harbinger, Sand Devil, Hopper, Dead Ninja, Golden Age, Silver Boa. I don't think I've got one designated for stretch or flex, but if I'm kind of iffy about a character, then I'm like, I don't know yet. Still in development, nothing wrong with that. Although John Dillard has drawn Flex. Here's a redesign that you've probably not seen or seen in a while of Devil Flyer. There you go. Kind of unfinished, but some of these were down there as well. Here's one that I actually put a logo on, Bog. And another bog. A lot of bogs. A lot of geos. Different looks for bog. Balding Bog. There we go. Balding Bog. Geo. volcanoes erupting, very violent place. You know, a little different with this design here. You know, for Geo. Here's one in color. Did this back in December of last year, December 13th. And some lucky backer may get this one. I don't know. But all these will be printed if they go out, the sketch cards, the head sketches, if they go out, they're going to be printed in the Art of Devil Flyer book, along with a thank you page. Another Geo on a lost and desolate planet. Janet from another planet. Speaking of a planet, what are you doing away? I am waiting on you to come in, Janet, and say hi. That was all I was waiting for. And if you believe that one, here's Sargasso, Mr. Good Stuff. See, it was, I am just having fun, chilling, hanging, chatting. You know, you got to take power naps, Janet, uh, just doing my thing, flying solo. A Dirty Joe, Dirty Joe has already done his, already done Sargasso, Zeitgeist, another Zeitgeist. These were some that were down there that I've done. This one I did in August of last year. So man, it's amazing, how many, how and this one in November of last year. It's amazing. Here's the Heap. He's a public domain character. He's actually the first swamp creature hero. Here was one that I kind of stopped short of. I just liked the top half without putting the bottom half there on. Decided to leave him like that. Did him back in December of last year. Here's one in full color. It's interesting. He looks parrot like or bird like sometimes. Different iterations, and this will definitely be in the 10-year visual history, along with a lot of others that I've done, especially the stuff that I've done like this on the campaign. It's still Bog, just different looks, for him. Been drawing that character for 10 years. Here's a nice gray toned one. And another one. And a character that might have been started out as a radical looking Bog, but became something else. Here you go, a Neanderthal Bog. I don't know. He doesn't have the two twigs, so uh, I mean, you could argue that point, but I don't think this is Bog. And his nose and everything, because he really doesn't have a nose and mouth underneath all that Spanish moss and stuff. There's Zob, and I don't think that I'm rethinking his name, and then I've never quite got his costume. He's an older character, like you know. Here's a lizard man and unfinished. I wasn't totally happy with. Um, here's a Bog sort of fun my comic type thing where he's opening the book. Kind of like the unfinished part that I have inked there. These are some that's been down here, but I haven't seen, recently, because they were down there. Here's a color one done back in January of this year. The Twisted Man. He's one of the 43. He was created just as a character by himself, but and his sketch card came out really creepy. Dirty Joe, which is kind of like Venom if he was a wraith or a ghost. Neat concept, huh? All tooth and claw. Here's a Geo. These big stone arches. He This character, Geo, the rock character, shares the old job that Devil Flyer had for a while. At least that's what that story I'm sticking to. Zeitgeist, little color there. He's basically colorless, and got an outline of Kirby dots and stuff, and some very evil, maniacal eyes. This is another design for Smolder, the giant kaiju that. Let's see if I have the other designs here, or what I did with them. I like to put him with the others. Of course, there's Zeitgeist, some others. I'll have to put these in order. Here's a Geo that I did not too long ago, I don't think. Well, March of this year. Very colorful. Blockhead. This one turned out fairly well. Almost looks Art Deco. Did that in December of this year. And here's a full body shot of him with a staff. Geo. Unfinished. I need to finish it. Here's kind of a Geo related type character that I never quite developed. Here's a Geo. Here's one with the sort of funky colors. Lots of Geos. I think and I'm working on 2-page story or 2 pages of the story. He's an interesting character. Like I say, I could go on and on and on with these. I've got several of Geo, and then you get into alien creatures. I was designing aliens there for a while, or a jellyfish worm like character. Did that in July of last year. And then there's my frog, armored up frog. Pretty wild. Don't know that he's a viable character. I don't know if I showed that or not, but another rock guy. I haven't quite. Here's another alien unfinished. Need to finish inking that. Sort of a dragonfly type alien character. A bog I need to finish. Need to finish his hands there. That'd be a good one to do. I'll put that on my short list. Put that up here to finish. These are done. So I've been busy. Been busy in the past year or 2 or 3. Whatever, in the pizza rounds and stuff. Good to stay busy. Stay busy. I'm glad I finally cleaned up my little area and saved these from down there. Sand Devil is part of a 30s and 40s group called the Skull Squad. It's sort of a very, there's only 4 or 5 of them, but all the characters have skull-like faces. He's kind of like Sandman, the villain, and sometimes hero. I think maybe he's even an honorary Avenger. I loved it when they made Sandman, who used to be a villain. He's not a bad guy. He's just kind of misguided. But yeah, lots of ones I can do. Lots of. And these head sketches are actually helping me for reference. When you have this many characters, it's like, what did he look like? Some I've drawn like Bog or Geo or something so many times. And Geo really within the last year or so, not that long. Definitely need to finish his hands, here on this. This is just the back cardboard. Did this back June of last year. Got it penciled, just need to finish inking it and coloring it. Like that sort of brownish gray. How many have I done? I don't know. I've not counted them. Complete, I mean, I counted them the other day and I had like 36, which is halfway there over. And now I've got over halfway there on everybody's sketch card, and each one of them's unique and different. The only ones that I have done more than one, and each one of those are going to be vastly different, like Funko Bog, Croc Bog, did two of him, um, are going to be the Bogs for the 10 years of celebrating, drawing him for 10 years. Old Man Bog, they're all different signs. I've got some. I'll have to search out. Of course, I'm looking for stuff now to put in the art book. There's stuff that I might not even find interesting, but you might. It's about the process of showing you. You know, here he is with Zob here on just like a. Did this in 2017, April 2017. So that may go in the book. It may not. I mean, it depends on how much space I have. I've definitely got enough to fill out a whole book, a whole omnibus of just like art on Bog. He's my most developed character and was the character that I was thinking about putting in, a first comic. But Devil Flyer kind of took that over. And I'm glad because, I mean, Bog's kind of a derivative character. I mean, he won't be when I get done sort of developing him. He's actually got low level telepathy. That's the way he speaks, is to your mind. I've been creating some cosmic baddies. That's the thing I always liked about Marvel Comics. They always had very powerful characters like Galactus. Um, and here's one of mine. This was in that artwork there too. Uh, here was, I think this was, and his name is Despair. I and I've done Despair. He's already done in there. I don't think I put his name. I forgot that I had called him Despair, so I need to put that on there before I misname him. Uh, here's Twisted Man. He looks particularly evil in there, almost like an evil clown with a red background. Yeah, let me see if he's in here. He's in here somewhere. But the 43 are quickly coming together, and a lot of the names are coming together. My cosmic characters are coming together like Nebulous. I've only drawn him three or four times, if that many. Let's see, probably in the first batch. I think I did him fairly early on. But Despair, Marvel does have a character called Despair, but I mean it's a general term. This is probably him right here. Yep. So I better put his name down. Did him fairly early on. Before I forget, this was actually the second drawing. I put second drawing on here of Despair. First drawing's right there. I'll show it to you here in a minute. I kind of tweaked his design, and then the third time that I drew him on that other one I showed you that's buried right here. It's right here. Kind of tweaked the design too, to get something that works. So Despair. Nice name. There is no hope. There's only despair. It's neat to do like characters like Slime. Slime goes way back, to the early days of Bog, 2015, about a decade of themselves. did this in October 11th of last year. So almost a year old. This one done, the second drawing of him done in July of last year. And the first drawing, the first concept, it just kind of popped in my head, and I got up and drew him. It's even done on really kind of thin paper that I used to work on because I had these things. And I got them out of order there. That's all right. I'll put them back in order. Do that. Created back in June and July because I actually went in and put the gray tones in and the inking and stuff. So I've got a notation here: first concept, despair, gold face. So when I did him on the thing, I made him get him a partial gold face mask. But that was the first one I did. First, second drawing, and a third probably here. Probably the only time that I've depicted this character in a sketch card. It may be the fourth time I've drawn him. Yeah, I got those out of order there. Just. So, like I say, this is just like, kind of focus. I'm kind of focused on getting these done, one for everyone on the campaign. Even if you back the digital tier and not a physical tier, you'll be sent one of these along with your charter member card because you're a producer of the book. And these are the first premium that you get are these cards here. That's the first premium you'll get with your charter member card, which has been printed up for you, and you can put your name on it. Sort of like the Devil Flyer fan club card. If you back the Ashcan, you get one of those. If I comped you a copy, I like comp the Diaz brothers one. Well, they'll get one of those, and they'll get, I don't think they bought the book, but I comped them. So a copy of the Ashcan, so that they're kind of farmed in, as a charter member. And the campaign's still going on. They might consider backing it. Who knows? So if you're watching and you hadn't backed yet, I guess I should probably go the extra mile and just drop the link is down in the description, but I'll put it in the chat for everybody over there on Fund My Comic. The campaign is at 73 backers, so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get all 73 backers a viable character. They're going to all be different. There will be more chances to get Bog. I know a lot of people like Bog. He is my most developed character, even more so, much more so than Devil Flyer, although he's coming along. And they're going to meet. I've had this charted out somewhat. Devil, all the secondary characters are going to be rolled into the Devil Flyer story, and then the backup stories, like let's say we cut Bog, we cut his story out. Well, well, let's just say Inner Man, because that's what's going to happen. He's going to meet Inner Man. Well, then Inner Man's story will be cut out. Inner Man is a 2-page story that basically just introduces you to the character. The second Inner Man character or story is probably going to be rival the size of a Devil Flyer story. You can't get too, but Devil Flyer will be, get a little bit more airplay, because there's going to be a lot, of secondary stories. By the time you get to issue 7 or issue 6, actually, it'll be all Devil Flyer, just his story. It'll be the climax of the story, that 6 and 7, really. And in 7, you find out the origin of Devil Flyer. If you're not on board by then, you'll never be on board, but exciting things coming about. And, nobody's doing these things, like um, doing a backup story just like they used to do in the golden age, and then eliminate a story and roll it in to the main story. Basically he's getting made a Faustian deal with this evil entity, so he's not a free agent, and he has to battle Smolder because he took on Cy Marco, and for every good deed, basically loosely, for every good deed he does, he's under a contract to remove this firewall that's going to unleash this great evil on the earth. So as he meets these characters, Enterman and Bog, it'll occur to him, I need help, to get out of this situation. And he'll form the Avengers, the Justice League, whatever, you want to call it. He'll form this super group to battle that. And at the climax, there'll even be some villains helping out to stop the end of the world. Characters have already died, in the Devil Flyer story. You can see that in the trailer. There's no spoilers there. They had names. We might revisit them in flashbacks. There's a couple characters that are killed in this issue that will come back later, but much later in issue 7. I just came up with the concept of that, exactly what's going to happen, and there may be others that join them in their journey, in the afterlife, whatever. Actually, that's something I'm toiling with now, is like a man's journey into the afterlife, and what does he, uh, I have the Dirty Joe story is basically the last thoughts of a dying man on his bed, and that's drawn by Hockey, who was on our draw stream last night, along with Dan Pleagle. I'm glad they joined us last night. It was a lot of fun when you have them on. He's in Australia, of course. I'll be working with Hockey in the future, I have no doubt. He's just leveling up and getting better and better. That's the reason I hired him like almost 3 years ago, I guess it was, to do the Dirty Joe story. Basically an introduction to the character, but it was a text story, in the pulps and in the comics of yesteryear, the older comics. You would have these text pages, sometimes a double page spread text story, where it'd be mostly reading and then maybe not chapter artwork, but a scene to set up the character or the environment or whatever, and then you read the story. Didn't much like those. I like to read, but I like the action and the sequentials and stuff like that. But I thought I would do a text story, do something different, and it's not overly burdened with dialogue. Um, and that being said, Keith Gleason's been paid his money to do 20 pages. I may have to pay him a little bit more to do additional pages, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I have sent him the file about a month and a half ago now of Gray Tales. That'll be the first thing that he letters. The Devil Flyer story is totally finished, and unless I want to add a sepia tone or if I want to add color to it, and that'd probably be traditionally colored. I think I'm probably just going to keep it black and white. You know, people were kind of yelling for this, and it's a prequel, and that way it meshes well with what you got in the ash can. And it was always meant to be in black and white. Actually, the Devil Flyer story, that the artwork was kind of tailor made for it to be in black and white. John Falandes, who lives about 2 blocks from me, maybe one good city block. Actually, if you went to Manhattan, the city block is pretty long, a few hundred feet, I guess. But he's just right around the corner. Anyway, you got Alien Bog here. And I need to put maybe Alien Bog, he could have antenna. No, that's stupid. No. Uh, I think we might have discussed that. Venus flytraps for the sticks, that way, if an alien dragonfly come out, it could pretty cool, with an Venus flytrap on the back. I'll have to kind of put that in here before I forget. Never drawn a Venus flytrap before. But he is supposed to be alien. That'll definitely make him look alien. There we go. That's kind of like the thing that I always require of people. If you're going to draw a Bog, you can deviate. You can make him more Cthulhu-like and tentacly. You can, give him separated brows or one whole brow. Or, I mean, only two requirements is on the right side of his head. He's got to have. That's kind of like how I do him. Is two dash marks. Two sticks sticking out of his head. I think I'm going to go. This has been a good first show. We've went an hour and a half. I think I'm going to go work on Alien Bog in the recliner and watch more Expanse. It's starting to heat up and actually get a little bit interesting. The first season I found, and the first disc, I think I'm on the second disc now of the second season. I watched the first night that I started watching it, which I guess was the night before last, and I didn't watch much yesterday of it because when I got up, I turned it on when I was doing Polecat, and it was at the end of disc 1 for season 2. So I had almost completed, I binge watched a whole season, stayed up all night and doing sketch cards in full color. So that's drawing, inking, and coloring them. And I wound up doing 7 complete ones. So that's good. That put me up to the halfway mark, and now I'm over the halfway mark. So it might take me less than 2 weeks. We'll see. I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to do my best work. I'm happy with the way things are coming along. There's been some unexpected new characters created. Can't wait to get to some of those and start developing some of those as well. Always nice to have the visuals first and not just the name, but sometimes the name comes first, and I've named a bunch of the characters, so that's really cool. At some point, I will sleep, so don't worry yourself too much, Janet. I'm just an oddball. I did call Sabrina. I got off, from the draw stream earlier. It was over on Omer's, and just gave her a sort of health and wellness check. And she was dog tired and kind of like I look in my eyes right now. And had been working. She's got a new job. They've been working her tail off. So she was ready to conk out almost by the time she called me back. But she's doing well. She's just tired from this new job. They're really putting her through her paces. And I have the other reference for Viro. So in there, the better one. This one I didn't quite like how I did it. Maybe just be the funky characters. He's going to kind of mess with your perception. Some of these characters are going to be a trip. They're going to be like a psychedelic trip. Because I'm all into showing some imagery that's pretty wild imagery. I think you can see on the campaign double page spread of where Devil Flyers gets shot in the neck, and he's reveals some visual cues of his origin. I actually told John to add 2 pages, and he added 2 pages at the end, which I think wrapped up the story a lot better than what I eventually had. I had a power reveal on the last page, and then he added 2 more pages, and you can see some of that in the in the trailer. Neat ending. You'll get to see his face. He takes his helmet off. Spoilers. It's mine to spoil, you know. Rex, you're stinking up the room. Okay, maybe. But, we're creating new things like Croc-Bog. I don't know exactly where we're going with this yet. Is this Bog? Is this a derivative of him? You'll have to tune in and find out. You know, resurrecting old characters. This one from 2008 and redrawing them. Doing some larger head sketches for our contest winners. I've done 2 or 3 of them. This one I did back in March, completed, and this one I started in May. But now I'm picking up and finishing it, inking it and coloring it, and I'll put a different look for him in a sort of a rain slicker. And I'll put a hope to have like a stormy scene in the back with the lighthouse. So that'll be interesting. I'll have to look for some reference on that. Dr. K, he's the new character that I've already done as a head sketch for somebody. If that's indeed one of the ones I select. Got my artwork in, so that artwork needs to go off to the printer. I'll probably go by there tomorrow and make sure she got my email to print up another 100 head sketches, and I will take this art, some of the more key pieces to be scanned, and might even take some of these head sketches to be scanned. So that we can move along. I need to find my scanner. That is for sure. Characters are being drawn and redrawn, a little bit tweaked here and there, whatever, like Smolder, new design there. I kind of like that design. I might do a combo of, now that I've got most of the designs, the redesign, some are better than others, but I'll probably, I might do a combo, of different things. I don't know. I've still got time, I want the best design. I was never happy with Smolder. I started off with a very simple design, but I think maybe too simple because, in sequential artwork, you got to draw him again and again and again. You want to that's kind of my philosophy. You start out with a simple design and then you build upon that and you can get more of a complex look, there's other head sketches like this is the thumbnail of the ideal for the Inner Man story. Here's kind of a chameleon like guy with chameleon eyes. Might be an alien faction, guy. Haven't done him yet, but maybe this is the one and only time I've drawn him. Did him back in I didn't date him. I did him I think earlier this year. Man, I mean some of these head sketches, which I've been drawing for a while for the campaign, I've got more than enough. I know I've drawn over 300 of them, and then kind of pivoted and went to the pizza rounds, and then for about 3 months, and then now to these head sketches for everyone. So I want a good selection, and I want if you get like let's say a Bog piece, or if you get throwback, you won't get a head sketch. Throwback, I'll probably go in there and do him, and draw him again, because he's going to be in a story coming up in Midnight. I'm convinced of that he's the right character. I was like, which of the 43 am I going to use for the old lady Midnight story? And now I know it's going to be throwback. He gets thrown back in time, so it's kind of like prescient. Anyway, you're done with me using big words like prescient. I don't even know how to spell that. I don't know how to say it. And we at Momentum Concepts or Momentum Comics say if you can grasp the concept, that's half the battle. You know, you don't know how to draw it or how to spell it, but often a bad movie is saved with a good concept. A good concept can move, uh, a badly written story ahead, a little bit. And but we endeavor to have excellence in storytelling and uh, concept. But it all I don't think I think people are like, I want to make a comic, I do a comic or this or that. And I don't know what they're riffing on. I don't know what their creative, process is. I know what mine is, and mine is to think about a matter. And one of the best things that's happened to Devil Flyer that's made it the rich story that it's going to be, uh, and enjoyable story to everybody, the epic story that I want to tell uh, in the long run. Um, Starts with the seed, so when you get the first one, give it a try and just remind yourself. And I may even write something in the book saying, this is the first complete endeavor, and look at this as a seed and look beyond that seed of what it's going to grow into, because it is going to grow. And, but I will take a brief hiatus and do something different with Momentum Publishing, and do a job, do the unseen artwork of John Buscema, sharing some of my collection in book form. And that'll be enjoyable. And I think it'll be a moneymaker. And I think it'll be good passive income for I and LZ, who have the art collection that will be putting the pieces in that book for. And I've already began work on it. Uh, and I need to work some more on it. Um, but now cleaning the place and finding some of the artwork that I'm looking for is part of it too. So that's something that I'll be doing this month and next month for sure. And in the winter months coming up is getting my house in order and cleaning. And that was one reason that I took off a week. Didn't get in much cleaning. I mean, there was some things that I needed to do, but that was part of it. And, creating, getting a good start on those sketch cards. And I did 25 of them, and it was a good seed to begin with. That was a third there. That was a personal goal. I want to have 25 before I come back and do the 4 o'clock shadow and do a daily show, because that's its own pressure. And I'm really not pressured by it, but yeah, it can be to be perform, monkey perform every day. So um, it's its own thing. I enjoy doing it. The more you do it, if you get away from it, then it's like, yeah. I mean, there's yard work. There's all kinds of stuff I can piddle with and enjoy. I like getting on a riding mower, something I don't get because I think, you know, if I give myself time to think, then I'm happy. Um, Woke up tired today, or yesterday, actually, Sunday morning, woke up a little tired, but that was good. It was fervent. I started out being creative, inking that polecat, doing that. Didn't turn out that great, but it was a great starter for all the others that I got done yesterday and uh, early this morning. Um, and oh, that occurs to me. Oh, let me write that down. You know, it's coming along. The story's coming along. The Midnight Story, the Tenants, it's all starting to jail, and I think the more that I do it, the faster I'm getting at it, and the and the more solidified the dream is becoming. And hopefully we can look back in another 10 years on Bog's 20th anniversary rather, and see not only Bog, you know, in his own book or developed even more, but Devil Flyer and all my other characters, the whole Momentum universe, be established by then. That's the plan anyway, and I guarantee you it will come to pass, and probably a lot quicker than 10 years. You know, we've come a long way. There's still logos and other things that I need to be have made. That's the next big thing. that I want to get out of the way is getting the unseen artwork of John Buscema logo made. Once I get that made, then we've got something solid right there, because all the artwork is already done, been done decades ago by John Buscema. So then it's just a matter of putting it in a palatable form and getting it out there. And I'll let you know when that happens. Toot sweet as quick as possible. You know, but still working on Devil Flyer. Going to get another 100 sketch cards so that I'm not hampered by that, and I can continue to do these for a while while the training's rolling. And I'd like to see one for every viable character I have. How many will that be? I don't know. I've got at least 150 viable characters. I'm not near that, and I'm creating new characters all the time. Love Ghost already, his visual look. Uh, can't wait to work him into a story. He might be a good one in the Midnight Story, but I think Throwback is going to be pretty cool. I think that's going to be pretty cool. Don't know who's going to draw that yet. Uh, I always thought the main story would be drawn by John Dillard. We'll see. Things change, you know. I haven't heard from John. He tried to contact me in late September. I know this is the long goodbye, right? Um, he tried to contact me in late September, and I missed it. I think September 24th. So, and I've responded back to him, and I said I can give you my phone number, and I don't know. I haven't even checked my phone to see if I have John's number. I might already have it in there. I just, been concentrating on these sketch cards. Get these sketch cards done for everybody, and that's one thing of the campaign that's done. You know, uh, and this was sort of a late addition to the campaign. A perk that I wanted to give with the charter member card, and I'm like, well, what can I do? I could just print up a trading card. I've certainly got artwork for that, but it's like, look, man, you only have one chance at one first campaign. Now, this is kind of my second campaign because I did the Ash Can and delivered that within 8 months. And if I'd had a cooperative artist, I could have delivered it in 6 months, probably 5 or 6 months. This is going to take a little longer. It just is. I'm putting everything in the kitchen sink in there. You'll have so many first appearances in this book. If this book isn't worth anything within, uh, let's say, that 7 to 10 year period, um, maybe I'll go on eBay and buy it like I did my ash can recently. I bought my own gas can. Of course I would. There's only 100 of them out there. Don't know who sold theirs. Don't care. Uh, they're out of book. Maybe it was an extra book that somebody bought because I did have some people buy some extra ones. You know, uh, best purchase I made this year on eBay, bar none. Buy my own book. 100 copies out there. Only 100. I was honored that it was on eBay, and it was just a fluke. Omer did a Google search under Devil Flyer for another reason and said, "Oh, your book is on eBay." I'm like, "It is? Oh, got to buy that thing," and I did. And if the Devil Flyer prequel comes up in near mint condition after I get this out, we're gonna overprint. I'd go by Ethan's what he's kind of said in the past. 25% overprint. We'll see. Um, but I think that's a good number, you know, and especially if you're going to do conventions. And I'll probably do something. I don't know. When you do a daily show, you're chained here all the time if you're not mobile. And I'll work on getting my phone either switched over to a better phone, which I haven't one in there, maybe change the SIM card out. I and my sister will look into that in November. She's been delayed coming till November. She was supposed to come sometime early this month in October, but that's been delayed to November, and that's fine. I'm still working. I'm off tomorrow night or later today, actually. I was supposed to go in early at 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. So I would be going in about 4 hours, 3.5, you know. But sadly, that's been canceled. I know when my last day is, unless they change that. You just never know. My last day will be the 10th. After that, I'll be streaming more, doing streams like this, just chilling and hanging, seeing who will show up. And just before I get out of here, I want to thank Good Stuff for coming in. Thank you, Omen, for coming in. Janet from Another Planet for coming in, and Ethereal Dragon, thanks for coming in. Omer Glitch, maybe not so much. Thank you for coming in. Apex Comics, thanks for coming in. Anybody else? Mike Walters for coming in. He's out there on the West Coast, so not so late for him out there. Often he drops in when I do a late night stream. I prefer the late night stream. There's not that much competition out there, and you folks need good entertainment if you're into the YouTube streaming thing. You know, we all got to have something. Love the show, Rex. We'll see you in the next one, though. Thank you, Alman. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to get busy. Not gone to bed yet. I can sleep in late. That's a great thing. I can sleep in as late as I want. I can sleep all the way up to the 4 o'clock shadow. And usually I don't want to say usually I do, because usually I don't sleep that long, but yeah, but we're doing great work. It's all coming together. I'm thinking about right now, all we need is the inner front cover, and then we'll have her print up the sticker book cover in the inside back cover, inside front cover, and the outside, which is a wraparound. Or front and back. That's probably next for her to print, after I get another 100 sketch cards, that is. I don't know. There's other. I'm trying to get the trading cards out of the way. I may have her do the zigzag magnet. We'll see. We'll see. I want to get some of these small things out of the way and show you things are moving along. They're getting printed up on the campaign, and we'll get the last story beats done on the campaign. And part of this, working with Ryan James recently, was part of that. And we'll get the book out to everybody in a timely fashion. What's timely to me? 2 years is not too much. When you get there, then I start sweating bullets. We'll hit 2 year mark in February of next year. I want to get it out before then. I wanted to get it out before the awards, which are in October. I guess I guess Devil Flyer will have to be best book of 2026 now. Unless I get it out, and then there's other things to be produced, of course. The tapestry. I've talked to Anthony about that. The standee. I'll talk to Chad about that. He's done those, or I actually can look that stuff up. You Google it. It's pretty simple, But anyway, yeah. Going to have a meeting with sometime, maybe 2 o'clock. I've been meeting with Omer quite often. Had some meetings with Ryan. He's been busy at Six Flags because they got the Halloween thing going on. So he's been working on that a lot. So I'm glad he's working. I'm glad I could just hit him right up and gave him some commission work when he needed it. And now he's got a new job, and he doesn't. I wouldn't say he doesn't need it, but he doesn't have the time he used to. Plus, he's got a family. That's one advantage I don't have, is kids in the house anymore. Anyway, keep collecting. You never thought this would end. Me either. And we will see you on the next stream. I don't even know if I've set up the next 4 o'clock shadow, but it'll be there for you. 4 Central every day on YouTube.